The city is instantly plunged into chaos as a colossal monster emerges, crushing buildings in its path. With a terrifying roar and talons ready to shred anything, this creature brings absolute terror to anyone in its sight. Amidst the rubble, a mother tightly holds her terrified child, trapped beneath the shadow of death. Desperate cries echo softly as they can only pray for someone to come and save their lives. Just as the massive talon is about to claim their lives, a violent tremor shakes the ground. The mother is startled to realize that the monster has suddenly shifted its focus, as if a new, far more dangerous threat has just arrived. As it turns out, the situation is far worse than expected. In another corner of the city, a swarm of similar monsters begins to crawl out from the debris, ready to annihilate whatever is left of human civilization. However, the darkness of the night is instantly shattered by a flash of golden light piercing the sky. Dozens of energy swords rain down at blinding speed, impaling the monster swarm without mercy. Explosions of divine energy strike the ground with devastating force. This massive assault instantly turns the tide, obliterating the monster threat in the blink of an eye. With the threat neutralized, a massive sword streaks back into the sky at its master's command. Jockey sword, return to me. A call signaling that the savior has completed his task. Witnessing the miracle before their eyes, the mother and her child cannot hide their gratitude. The young boy points to the sky in sheer awe, realizing that the legendary figure known as the Star Soul General has arrived to protect them. Cheers of joy echo throughout the area as the citizens realize they have escaped death. High in the sky, a warrior clad in golden armor stands majestically, exuding a divine aura, and bringing new hope amidst the destruction. Yet behind his majestic appearance as Star Soul General Master Danyuan, a grim reality is hidden within the system. A critical warning flashes indicating his spirit power is dangerously low, below 6%, and the time remaining for Song Yunxiang to maintain this holy Star Soul General is rapidly running out. The mechanical capsule structure slowly locks its mechanisms into place with a heavy, metallic thud. The system runs at maximum velocity, compressing the remaining spiritual energy into millions of glowing blue digital data cubes that shine with immense power. From within this data core, a massive and majestic silhouette begins to take shape, reconstructed from the ground up. Violent bursts of energy flood the surrounding space as the emergency assembly process reaches its ultimate peak. Within mere seconds, the digital codes solidify and transform perfectly into a new, legendary combat armor. Equipped with thick silver plating, jet black accents, and a piercing crimson glare, this ultimate line of defense finally stands tall. The system immediately confirms the success of the emergency reconstruction. Star Soul General, Xiaovin, has fully manifested, and stands ready to block the enemy's onslaught to shield humanity. This fierce battle turns out to reopen a hidden wound from the past. In his youth, incomplete spiritual power left a permanent flaw inside his body. As a result, his cultivation is not only permanently stuck at the holy rank, but he has also lost any way to advance further. Realizing his severe limitations, the general quickly switches his weapon to the dual wind swords, utilizing the remaining restored nebula power on this current form. The maximum combat power he can muster is less than 20% of his true potential. To make matters worse, in his weakened state, a colossal monster manages to seize him in a crushing grip. The beast prepares to unleash a point-blank energy blast directly at the general. A massive explosion of blue energy erupts in mid-air, sending thick plumes of smoke billowing high above the city skyline. Two blinding pillars of energy even pierce through the clouds, crashing into the ground below with devastating force. Amidst this critical moment, the Nebula Master System is immediately activated. The radar scanner instantly searches the vicinity to check if anyone is still alive. The scan confirms that there is no sign of human life within a 30-mile radius around the battle zone. With the battlefield now completely cleared of civilians, the general triggers the Nebula Shade transformation, shifting his Aobing armor into the definitive reverse scale mode. Locking onto his targets absolutely, he summons the Cold Killer Dragon form, which possesses a terrifying ability to obliterate massive areas. Torrents of high-output green laser beams rain down on the battlefield without mercy, blasting the advancing monsters away and leaving them screaming in agony. However, this ultimate attack demands an overwhelmingly heavy price. The system blares out a critical warning, indicating his soul power is severely overloaded. The massive mechanical armor loses control and plummets from the sky like a falling meteor. With what little consciousness he has left, the general forces the system to initiate a Nebula Soul reconstruction. Just as he violently impacts the ground, catastrophic explosion tears through the terrain, creating a massive crater enveloped in thick dust. Amidst the heavy debris, the general's mechanical body slowly begins to break apart, and dissolve into digital data particles, marking the grim end of his struggle at his absolute limits. The system warnings continue to blare rapidly as the general's condition grows progressively weaker. Completely drained of spirit power and soul energy, his aging body gasps heavily under the immense strain of pain. To make matters worse, his entire supply of soul renewal pills has been completely depleted. At that exact vulnerable moment, the enemy unleashes a definitive strike from the heavens. A colossal blue energy orb is fired, launching a destructive laser pillar that crashes down toward the earth. The general attempts to hold his ground by spinning his weapon, forming a pink vortex energy shield to absorb the impact of the catastrophic explosion tearing through the city. However, his defense is violently shattered when a massive black chain spear pierces through the barrier, heavily cracking his mechanical armor. Thrown to the ground and coughing up blood, the general finds himself completely trapped as a swarm of monsters binds him with energy chains from the sky. On the brink of death, the general steels his resolve for one final, desperate gamble. Through the emergency authorization of the Danyuan Master System, he chants the Nebula Soul Reconstruction to summon his remaining fight swords. Bursts of blazing red energy erupt in all directions, shattering the binding chains and vaporizing the surrounding monsters within massive explosive domes. His new combat armor successfully manifests on the battlefield once more. However, the system immediately issues an absolute ultimatum. A 5-second countdown to his death has officially begun. With the evacuation window dangerously narrow, the general coughs up blood from the extreme energy overload. The exact moment the countdown hits 0, glowing blue spatial dimensional rifts tear open across the city sky. Out from the shattered dimensional cracks, a massive new swarm of beasts pours into the world, bringing a terrifying new threat of extinction to human civilization. Picking up right where we left off, the situation on Earth is absolute chaos. The sky is torn open with dimensional rifts, and terrifying beasts are pouring out like a massive flood. Amidst the panic, evacuation ships are scrambling to take off, carrying the last remaining survivors of humanity. Inside his mecha cockpit, our aging general, Song Yunxiang, is already in critical condition. He's coughing up blood, completely drained of energy, and the system alarms are blaring a non-stop death countdown. But as he glances at the monitor, he notices a mother and child left behind due to someone else's cowardly escape. Yunxiang is absolutely furious. He reflects on how exhausted he is after fighting alone for all these years, but he refuses to give up. As long as a spark of human hope remains, he knows they must survive. With the last fabric of his consciousness and remaining power, Yunxiang decides to make one final, epic gamble. Screaming at the top of his lungs, he overloads his mecha system, forming a colossal golden energy orb around himself. The energy orb erupts violently, launching hundreds of massive laser beams into the sky like a reverse meteor shower. This ultimate suicide strike successfully vaporizes the swarms of flying monsters hunting the evacuation ships. The supermassive explosion engulfs the entire battlefield, leaving behind thick reddish-black smoke and completely ruined city debris. Everything suddenly goes dead silent. The legendary general has officially fallen, sacrificing himself to shield humanity's future. But here is where the crazy plot twist begins. Suddenly, a mysterious voice echoes out, shouting, "Hey, Song Yunxiang, wake up!" In an instant, Yunxiang snaps his eyes open, gasping heavily for air. Strangely enough, he is no longer in a wrecked cockpit. Instead, he's lying on a bed inside a modern room, filled with high-tech computer screens. Naturally, he's completely bewildered, thinking, where on earth am I? Didn't I just blow myself up with the enemy? When he looks into the mirror, he gets the shock of his life. His face and body are young again, and he's wearing the uniform of the Nanzhou Martial Institute. He quickly checks the desk calendar, and his eyes widen in disbelief. It reads 1330 ephemeris under the Tiandu Kingdom. Yunxiang finally realizes an unbelievable reality. He didn't die. He has been thrown back in time, exactly 60 years into the past before the world's destruction. His second chance to rewrite destiny has officially begun.